We're now taking you to the story of Joshimath. Joshimath is a town in Uttarakhand where cracks in the walls have long been evident. But over the night of Jan 2nd to Jan 3rd, the appearance of the cracks seems faster than ever. According to experts, it's something of increasing concern. Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister held a high-level meeting. This took place yesterday. Now, the meeting focused on Joshimath. Now, what they were looking to do was A, understand the scale of the problem, and B, what could be the short-term, the middle-term and the long-term solutions for this issue. The Prime Minister expressed his own concern. He reviewed the situation. The Chief Minister, Pushkar Singh Dhami, was present on call too. Now, one NDRF team, 4 teams of the SDRF have already reached Joshimath. 60 families living in the damaged areas have been evacuated in the last few days. But 90 more families have yet to be evacuated. Local administration has set up relief centres at 4 to 5 places in the Himalayan town. However, much anger and much fear remains among residents on the ground. Pleas seeking urgent declarations of the current incident as a national disaster very much remain. That will, remember, allow the release of more funds. That's going to be looked at by the top court tomorrow. We'll be bringing you more ground reports on the entire situation. First, we're going to play out for you what Pushkar Singh Dhami, the Chief Minister, had to say.
ले रहे हैं और उन्होंने हर संभव यहाँ पर मदद का हमको सहायता का आश्वासन दिया कि हर प्रकार से सहायता होगी। कल पीएमओ ने भी मीटिंग करी है, हमारे राज्य के भी सभी अधिकारीगण, चीफ सेक्रेटरी कल वहाँ गए थे। सारा आकलन उन्होंने भी कर दिया है और हमारी कोशिश है कि सभी लोगों को फिलहाल सुरक्षित किया जाए।
भी एक जांच टीम वहाँ पहुंच रही है सर, किस तरीके से देखते हैं सर, जिस तरीके से युद्ध स्तर वहाँ पे आपकी तरफ से और सेंटर की तरफ से पूरी वो की जा रही सर?
नहीं, हम सब लोग जोशीमठ वासियों के साथ हैं और जोशीमठ शहर बचे, इसके लिए हर संभव प्रयास होगा। इसके साथ साथ हमारा यह भी प्रयास होगा कि सभी को सुरक्षित रखा जाए। सभी की जानमाल की सुरक्षा हमारे लिए प्राथमिकता है। ले रहे हैं और उन्होंने
Okay, my colleague Nikhil is present on the ground. He's been there for a few hours now. Let's check in with him on the situation. Nikhil, we've walked our audiences through what the government has said that they're going to do over the next few weeks. But I want to understand from you, what do residents think? Are they still angry? Are they still scared? Can you tell us more?
So yeah, the residents of the Joshimath town, they are not only angry of the overall situation, but scared at the same time because it is on their livelihood that we are talking about here. So out of 6,500 houses which are located in the Joshimath town, 603 are the official record. As per official record, 603 are the places where the cracks have been seen, where the sinking part has been seen by the officials, including that of Gurudwara, hospitals, residential places and the public places as well, including that of government premises too. So, so far 68 of the families, they have been shifted to the safe houses, but 90 are yet to be shifted. So this is one such big task which the state government have to complete at the earliest, because the residents, they are crying for help, they are begging for help, they are saying that the livelihood is now what the question is on for them. And also, as far as the situation is concerned, there is close to 4 to 5 relief camps which are set up by the state government. A team of NDRF, SDRF, they are already present at the ground zero. The PM is closely monitoring the situation, as mentioned by Pushkar Singh Dhami as well, who is the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. Prime Minister also spoke to him yesterday about the situation. He is closely monitoring the situation. He has assured all the possible help from the central government. Furthermore, the Principal Secretary to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Mr. P.K. Mishra, he also held a high-level meeting yesterday, including that of senior officials, not just from the central government, but also from the state government. And during that particular meet, the Chief Secretary of the Uttarakhand state, he briefed the officials that a strip of land which is of the width of 350 meters, it is somewhat affected because of the subsidence which is currently underway in that particular area. We also know that a plea is also in the Supreme Court. The matter will be heard tomorrow. But as far as the situation is concerned, there are more teams of the Jal Shakti Ministry as well, NDMA as well, which is the National Disaster Management Authority, including that of Border Management. The director of the same, they have also been dispatched to Joshimath town. And at the same time, a team of IIT Roorkee, and there are geology department people as well, seismology department people as well.
Breaking news coming in regarding this story that we need to very quickly move to right now. We told our audiences a little while earlier that the Supreme Court would be looking into whether or not this could be declared a national disaster. I believe that the matter was mentioned out of turn, and now the court has asked the advocate to mention the matter tomorrow. Let's go very quickly over to my colleague Ananya to understand what this means. Ananya, could you break this down for us, please?
whole prayer about क्या आपने मांग की है इस पूरी पिटिशन में, ये बताएं पहले आप.
My whole prayer is that it is national disaster and it should be declared as disaster, and what is the consequence of declaration of disaster is that central government and National Disaster Authority, these authorities should take action. They should provide fund, and out of that fund people should be rehabilitated and relief should be given. Their houses where are cracks, they should be repaired, and if they are not repairable, then they should be reconstructed. Otherwise they should be relocated for the safeguarding their lives, and for entire their destruction of property, compensation should be given to them, insurance coverage should be given. All these things are there.
Sir, any kind of a financial compensation, insurance that has been sought?
Yes, certainly. There are two types of compensation. One, if national disaster is declared, then central government and state government will compensate from their disaster fund. And also NTPC had given assurance to them that if anything is caused due to their project, then they will give insurance coverage and they will compensate. And both prayer has been done. If it is disaster, then central government, state government should compensate, and also NTPC should also be directed to compensate and give BIMA insurance coverage.
So, Toya, you are seeing, we are speaking to senior advocate P.N. Mishra, who had mentioned this matter before the topmost court of the country. CGI said that the matter should be mentioned again tomorrow in the mentioning list via a proper procedure of mentioning. And the petition seeks basically that this whole Joshimath tragedy should be declared as a national disaster, because it would change the whole dynamics of dealing with this particular situation. What would happen when it is made, in fact, a national disaster is, number one, that the NDRF would kick in. The NDRF would be kicking in for the relief work. Apart from that, the state government and the central government can bring in financial compensations for the victims, at least who are staying in that particular area and who have to be rehabilitated from that particular area because of the disaster that is taking place in the Joshimath area of the Uttarakhand. And as we were pointing it out earlier to you as well, this is not just a normal town in the state of Uttarakhand. It holds a religious importance as well, because of the Joshimath, because the Adi Shankaracharya had actually visited here. He had set up a mutt here, and the whole flow of knowledge had happened from here by Adi Shankaracharya. And in fact, it is the petition that has been filed by Jagadguru Shankaracharya before the topmost court of the country. We will see tomorrow as to how would the Supreme Court react to it, and whether in fact urgent hearing would be allowed into this particular matter, and what would the Supreme Court has to say with regards to this whole tragedy that's taking place. Now, as Mr. Mishra was pointing us out, financial compensations have also been sought by way of insurances and assurances by the NTPC also, because they remember that the hydro project that is going on by the NTPC there is said to be one of the major reasons of these cracks and landslides that are happening in the Joshimath area. And the NTPC has also assured that financial compensations would be given in case of any kind of rehabilitation or damage to the environment is there. So, a very, very key aspect that has to be seen here is that whether the actions of mankind, whether the actions of the people are affecting the nature there, and that's the reason why this whole tragedy has erupted in the state of Uttarakhand, Uttarakhand's Joshimath city. So somewhere or the other, it is before the Supreme Court. The hope is before the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, subsequently, another petition was mentioned before the Delhi High Court. However, the High Court said that first inquire about what is happening in the Supreme Court with regards to this, and then only will the Delhi High Court actually look into this particular aspect. But certainly all eyes are on the Supreme Court for tomorrow, whether or not the matter is heard urgently by in fact the Supreme Court or not. The matter was mentioned today. However, since it was unlisted mentioning, the Chief Justice of India said that the mentioning should be made after bringing it properly.
Ananya, can I just ask you to stay with us please for a second? I want to very quickly walk our audiences through an explanation here. My colleague Ananya was just mentioning the NTPC and a tunnel. Let's talk a little bit about this tunnel and the issues that villagers have had with it. All right, this entire story starts on Jan 2nd to Jan 3rd, the intervening days when residents say that their houses first saw cracks and crevices appearing in their houses. Now, after this took place, after the cracks started appearing. And as you can see over here, there was water seepage that was coming from some of the cracks. This is what took place. Number one, the reason that's been given is that there's unplanned construction taking place in homes, in hotels and resorts. That's reason number one. Now, reason number two, this is the big one that we were talking about, hydroelectric projects around Joshimath. I just want to tell you here, residents have been protesting these projects for months now. They've said that the projects, and in particular the usage of boring machines in those projects, have led to issues in the land in the area. Now, reason number three, the use of heavy machinery and in the high-lying bypass construction, the use of heavy machinery in particular. So remember, when it comes to Joshimath itself, Joshimath is built on an area that has very, very loose, soft soil. The presence of construction has only exacerbated the problem in the area. As you can see, this is one more man-made development, the expansion of the Rishikesh-Badrinath highway that has made slopes unsteady. The other thing, though, is that the area is in a seismically very sensitive zone. What that means is that it continues to experience the effect of tremors that are taking place in the entire area. But because those tremors are of a very, very low marking on the Richter scale, they have not been monitored closely so far by the government. Now, the other issues is, as you can see, toe erosion, slope instability, as we told you, due to the 2013 and 2021 floods. So as you can see, a combination historically of geographic issues that have taken place in the area with layers of man-made construction taking place on top. Now, my colleague Priyanka is with us. She's going to take you very quickly down to the ground in the town. She's been there over the last few days. This is what she's found. Take a look.
देखिए, मैं पहले आपको थोड़ा तस्वीरें दिखा देती हूँ। देखिए, जोशीमठ का मेन बाजार है, साथ साथ ये आप देखें यहाँ पर इस तरीके के रेड क्रॉसेस लगा दिए गए हैं। इसका मतलब है ये तमाम बिल्डिंग्स जो रहने के लायक नहीं है, रेजिडेंस जो रहने के लायक नहीं है, उनमें ये ऐसे रेड क्रॉसेस लगा दिए गए हैं। 2 रेड क्रॉसेस आपको दिख रहे हैं और रीजन भी आप यहीं पर क्रैक देखेंगे, नीचे कितना गहरा क्रैक है यहीं जो बिल्डिंग्स के सामने है। अभी तक 60 फैमिलीज को इवैक्यूएट कर लिया गया है, सेफ जगह पे लेकर आया गया है, लेकिन अब इसको स्पीडली और ज्यादा बढ़ाया जा रहा है। और जिन इलाकों की हम बात कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पर आपको मैं ये जो 2 होटल्स हैं इस जोशीमठ के, सबसे ज्यादा जो जोर है इन दोनों होटल्स पे ही है, क्योंकि अगर आप इसको बहुत पास से देखेंगे तो आपको रियलाइज होगा कि ये जो रेड ब्रिक्स वाला होटल है मलारी इन, ये टिल्ट हो गया है माउंट व्यू होटल पे। आपको नीचे गैप नजर आएगा, इतना गैप कि लोग यहां से आ जा सकते थे, ये उनका डेली का रास्ता था, लेकिन ऊपर ऊपर आप देखेंगे कि ये पूरा टिल्ट हो गया है। इसलिए सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम फिलहाल अथॉरिटीज के लिए इन दोनों होटल से छुटकारा पाना है। वाई? बिकॉज इसके पीछे पूरी बसावट है, इसके पीछे पूरा टाउन है जहां पर लोगों के घर है। हालांकि उन लोगों को सबसे पहले यहां से खाली करा लिया गया है, लेकिन उसके बाद भी अभी जो अथॉरिटीज हैं सेफ हाउसेस बनाने के साथ साथ इस पर भी काम कर रही हैं कि ये दोनों होटल्स का क्या किया जाए, क्या इन्हें खुद तोड़ा जाए, डिमोलिश किया जाए। और जिस तरीके की उत्तराखंड की एक अपनी इंटरनल कमिटी यहां पर बिठाई गई थी जो 8 मेंबर्स की थी, कल उनकी भी जो क्लैरिफिकेशंस है, उनकी भी रिकमेंडेशन सामने आई है, जिसमें बोला गया है कि सबसे पहला काम लोगों को सेफ जगह लेकर जाना है, और दूसरा और उतना ही इंपॉर्टेंट काम है इस तरीके की बिल्डिंग्स जो कि खत्म हो चुकी हैं या गिरने की कगार पर है, इनको डिमोलिश करके इनके डेब्रिस को हटाना तुरंत, ये बिल्कुल पहली प्रायोरिटी गवर्नमेंट की होनी चाहिए।
और सबसे पहले हमारा यही प्रयास है कि किसी का नुकसान ना हो, जहाँ रिस्क है वहाँ लोगों को शिफ्ट किया जाए और जल्दी से जल्दी इसके कारण का पता लगाया जाए। भारत सरकार में भी सभी इंस्टीट्यूट को रिक्वेस्ट की है और जल्दी से जल्दी पता करने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है कि कारण क्या है, ताकि उसका इलाज किया जा सके।
जोशीमठ के क्षेत्र में अभी हमने नगर पालिका क्षेत्र में और नियर बाय एरियाज़ में अभी सभी निर्माण कार्य अग्रिम आदेशों तक हमने अभी रोक लगा रखी है। जो भी लोग अस्थायी रूप से विस्थापित हो रहे हैं हमारे नगर पालिका में, गुरुद्वारे में और होटल्स में जो रिलीफ कैंप स्थापित किए गए हैं, सभी को ड्राई राशन किट्स के माध्यम से रिलीफ सामग्री दी जा रही है और लगातार हमारे सेक्टर अधिकारी, प्रभारी अधिकारी उसका निरीक्षण कर रहे हैं कि और लोगों से बात कर रहे हैं कि कोई भी कमी अगर परिलक्षित होती है तो उसका तत्काल निराकरण किया जाएगा।
Okay, now let's take a deeper dive into what residents have to say. Residents have, over the last few months, been protesting a Hydel project that's being built within the area. Now, let's take a very quick look. Locals say, as you can say, that the Tapovan Vishnugarh project has a tunnel that is running below, and the construction of that tunnel is what has led to this larger issue, the cracks in the area. Now, the NTPC is saying that because the tunnel doesn't pass under Joshimath itself, it isn't to blame. However, locals have alleged that it's coming close enough. Now, the other thing they've said is that boring machines have been used in the ground for 2 decades. As you can see over here, the NTPC has said what they have to say to this, but it's important to note that this was a tunnel that was supposed to be built and completed between 2012 and 2013. It's already been a decade since it was supposed to be completed. Next, moving on to the next point. As you can see over here, locals are saying that in the construction of that tunnel, a large amount of explosives have been used, and that's why it is a result of that these cracks that had been present in multiple houses only got exacerbated, and now the rate at which those cracks are growing has only become much faster. To this, the NTPC has said that no blasting is being carried out presently. Now, they are partly correct. They have stopped construction, except that construction has only been stopped on Jan 5th, after residents protested and after more cracks had already appeared. Now, this is where it stands. Locals again allege, as we just told you, that the blasts that were caused in the construction of this tunnel. Why is this tunnel being built? This tunnel is being built to take river water to the turbines of the plant. Now, residents say that in the creation of that tunnel, the blast was caused, and that caused vibrations. But to this, as you can see, the NTP has said that the tunneling is not taking place underneath the town itself. Residents again saying this doesn't matter, its result is affecting them. We're going to very quickly walk you through reactions. Take a look.